Target is closing a Washington Square location in City Center in Philadelphia. This article says, here's why, but it doesn't really say, here's why. Got to go to another article to kind of get into that. Now, this isn't an area where a number of national chains have said, yeah, no mas. We're not doing business here anymore. You can go to the outer lying areas and still do some shopping, but just not in this location. Let's get into it. Let's see what's going on in Philadelphia. Here we go. The store on the 1100 block, the 1100 block of Chestnut Street, will close for good on May 13th. Target spokesperson said they're taking the action after multiple years of working to improve performance. So they're going to tell us, hey, we've been working really hard at this store, diligently at this store. We want to keep it open for the community, but it's just underperforming. It's simply not doing its job. We want to be able to better serve you, the community, but unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that at this particular store. That is corporate speak for their shenanigans going on in the neighborhood. And we had to shut her down because we weren't making any money at that location. And we got other stores in the area where we're making slightly better money. So why would we keep this one open? Here's the corporate speak. To the guests who shopped with us at Washington Square, we appreciate you shopping with us and hope that you'll continue to visit us at another location close to you or via Target.com. We could do a little e-commerce. We could do a little online shopping together, right? And the Target app. Don't forget the Target app on your iPhone or your Android phone, whatever it might be. Maybe it's your iPad. Don't forget about that. The spokesperson said in a statement, I'm shocked. I'm disappointed because my feet are here often. I live within a block. I'm here all the time, said Kristen Everett. That's not good for the neighborhood, and I don't know why they would close when Jefferson is opening, said Fred Kogan. I'm bummed. You got people who, they want to shop in their store. And now they're being told, you got to go, 2 miles over here and you can get your Target. You can get your Target goods and whatever it is that you need to get there. I'm not a huge Target shopper, mainly because I'm a dude. I think that's how that goes. We like to go to Home Depot. Target, no. There is literally nothing I need at Target. I mean, there's stuff I need, but I can usually get it at a grocery store or whatever, right? I don't really shop for clothes there. I don't think I've ever bought any clothes at Target. I buy Christmas stuff there. I do buy Christmas stuff there because I find you can get the biggest bang for your buck sometimes at either Walmart or Target. I mean, you get big toys, remote control for your younger nieces and nephews. It's all good. So the shutdown follows the closure of several other high-profile stores in the area, including Wawa. It has some residents concerned about the state of shopping in their neighborhood. So this article was going to tell us, why this is happening. But they actually just kind of tell us the corporate version and then pissed off, people in the area that are not able to shop there after May 13th here, right? It feels like it's kind of been like a state of flux, state of transition. This sort of stuff happens. Also feels like there are outside forces not managed as much as they could have been either. What other shenanigans do we have going on that aren't being identified here? While you may see, here's how we're trying to soft spin this, right? While you might see some empty storefront statistics from 6ABC's data journalism team reveal there are actually more stores opening. Okay. All right. So we've got a reverse gentrification thing going on here. You got the big boxes saying, nope, no can do, shrinking, going away. But then that provides opportunity for the little guy, right? The independent store. This is the spin that they're trying to give us, right? As of November of 2022, 80% of storefronts are occupied. All right, that's good. That's good. Which is up from 45% during the height of the pandemic in the summer of 2020. And it's nearing the 89% occupancy it was before the pandemic. Well, for a number of large stores, including like Starbucks They have said, no sirree, we are not keeping the store open. We're done. Closed. And why do you think that might? I can't imagine in Philadelphia. It's a city of brotherly love. They wouldn't shoplift there, would they? The majority of storefronts are currently occupied by independent or local retailers and restaurants. That is interesting. So big chains have said, no, not here. We are not. We'd love to serve the community, but it's about our decision-making on profitability. And, we've been working hard towards making money here and just can't seem to make it work because XYZ percentage of our profits, more than our profits, are walking out the front door as people shoplift from us left and right. Then shenanigans in the parking lot, just crazy stuff happening, shootings, whatnot. City Center District said in their retail report, many national chain retailers closed stores across the country due to trends accelerated by the pandemic. That is true. That is the soft spin. I mean, this is part of that upspin, that they're trying to give us, which is it's not all bad. They're not all shutting down. In fact, there's some independent stores coming in here. They're going to take up the slack that these other big boys are. We don't really know why they're leaving the area, but they are. And well, we can't imagine that. There's a transition right now for everyone. Right after COVID, everybody's doing something differently, said Frederica Robinson from Center City. Here's the thing. In other cities where they didn't allow shoplifting or, they haven't allowed criminal activity and they haven't allowed drugs to run rampant, they don't have these problems to the point where big corporate is saying, we out of here. That's not happening. You are seeing an uptick in shoplifting, but the stores that are closing are typically stores that have been on the ropes, the old rope-a-dope from Muhammad Ali times. You just slug somebody and Muhammad Ali would just bounce around on the back of the rope and the old rope-a-dope. But, the retail apocalypse is here. We're watching it in real time. So those stories that were on the rope-a-dope, they were on the rope, they were getting battered around, but they weren't surviving nearly as well as Muhammad Ali because, man, that guy could float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. That guy was an amazing athlete to watch. His foot shuffle, that dance thing he did. I mean, what was that? That guy was an athlete. But I digress, right? You've got a bunch of these stores that have literally been on the ropes for a while and, corporate, structure, the way it is, management just says, hey, you got issues at this store, not profitable, boom, done. Close them. And that's literally what we've got going on. There's a transition right now. Yeah, there is a transition right now for everyone in retail, but in the areas, I am not reading about stores closing left and right in Florida. I am not reading about stores closing left and right in Texas. Yes, there are some instances of that going on, just as out of normal, but they aren't centered in areas where other big national chains have also hit the eject button. I just watched Maverick, the Top Gun Maverick. You got to hit that eject button and go flying out of your jet. But in corporate retail speak, it's you hit the eject button from a neighborhood and you ain't coming back. Target store first opened in 2016 and employs roughly 45 full-time and part-time workers. That's a smaller store then. That's one of those 25,000 square foot stores, whereas the bigger stores are 120, something like that. Those team members are being offered the opportunity to work at other nearby locations. Right. Okay. Let's see. I was working for your store here and I got fired. If I go there, I might get fired. Yeah, maybe it's time for a career change. And what's so interesting about these articles is the authors just don't want to come out and say it. Hey, these stores are located in areas where you could lose your life. You could be robbed. You can buy drugs. You can buy stolen goods. You can buy all of this stuff out in the parking lot of these stores, of this Target. And you know how we know that? Because there's other big corporate chains that have said it's a safety issue. So you got to dig just a little bit to get to these, to get to the relocations. I mean, this other article, it literally said at the top, here's why, right? Yeah, here it is. Target closing Washington Square location, city center. Here's why. We didn't learn a jack thing about why it's closing. I had to search around. On this one, it says Target is closing one of its city center locations. The company, though, here's the upsell. The company is still committed to its smaller stores that cater to urban centers. Okay, we don't care about that. We aren't saying that all of them are going to get shut down. We just care about this one in city center and want to know what's going on. The small format Target at 12th and Chestnut Streets is slated to close May 13th. The company informed its 45 employees. The retail cited years of underperforming sales and declining foot traffic. That is code for they ain't making enough money. So they're shutting her down. What's more, there are 2 other Target stores within 2 miles of 12th and Chestnut. Employees at the closing location will have the option to move to nearby sites. In a statement, Target spokesperson Kayla Castaneda said the company remains committed to the Philly metro area where it operates 2 more stores. We're committed, just not here. I want to be in a relationship with you, but just not at this location. We're not doing it here. We can't consummate this relationship at this location because we're hitting the eject button. Target will no longer be selling goods to the public at this location. The decision to close one of our stores isn't something we take lightly. This is how they always start off, whether it's Walmart, whether it's Target, whether it's Home Depot, whomever. This wasn't a decision we took lightly. Well, nobody's saying you did. I think most of us are just like, well, what took you so long to figure that one out? How many shenanigans in the parking lot do you have to have? How many times do you have to call police to this one location before you figure it out? Maybe this isn't a viable place to sell your goods and services. It's an action we take only after multiple years of working to improve performance. See, it looks like they're really the ones doing all the working here. But the ones who are doing the working are the ones doing shoplifting. They're the ones working it because they know, hey, odds are really high. They get out the door. Those stolen goods, they're going to be able to go down to whatever open air drug market, open air, bazaar. Maybe it's Kensington Avenue and sell their goods, sell their stuff. They got a huge market because everybody's working on the black market because they're all buying drugs. And they're all getting just super high. That's what you got going on. Company has 3 additional upcoming closures, 1 in Minneapolis. I covered that, and 2 around Washington, D.C. Don't worry. I'll cover those as well. The 12th and Chestnut store opened in 2016, City Centers First. So it's only been there 7 years. Yeah. And part of the wave of 4 so-called small format stores in Philadelphia, wave of these smaller stores. These types of stores were key to the company's efforts to enter American downtowns, urban neighborhoods, and college areas, offering much of what their larger counterparts did without duplicating what other local stores had to offer. The retail giant added other local details, such as wall-size mirror of Philadelphia icons, including Independence Hall. How did that work out? Now that you're shutting the store down, was it worth it? You had that custom mural put in. Now you're taking a big, national chain, and you're trying to include some, feel good community type associations. But all that shoplifting got in the way, and the shootings and the robberies and safety issues with not only the employees, but safety issues with management, safety issues with their suppliers, safety issues with their customers coming in. Yeah. The foot traffic is people coming into the store. I don't really want to go into that store because I might get assaulted, and I'd rather not have that happen today. So the location made the most of its 19,000 square feet, including a pharmacy. The national average for small format stores is 40,000 square feet. A full-size Target can be 130. It's about a sixth. The small size stores are about a sixth of the size of regular store, right? Despite the closure, Target isn't moving away from the small format model. Of the roughly 20 locations Target plans to add to its portfolio in the next year, including a location at 37th and Chestnut Streets, about half are expected to be small format. Okay. Target, here at the very end on our outro. This is where we get a glimpse. We get a glimmer of what's going on. Target joins chains such as Starbucks, Wawa, Marshalls, and H&M. Now, I looked at all 4 of those stories, And they shut down because of security issues, because of crime, because of shoplifting, the very things we're talking about. These are not hard things to figure out. But until you go to these stores, I mean, you go to the stories on these stores closing down and you hunt around, nobody wants to come right out and say, hey, it ain't safe to shop in our town. Don't come here. Stay home. You'll be better off. Don't bring your hard-earned money to our community because you might get robbed inside of one of our targets. I'm making that up, but that's the reality, right? Corporate is saying, well, it's not making us enough money. Therefore, we're going to shut down. And guess what? They're late to the game because Starbucks, Wawa, Marshalls, and H&M already beat them to it. And these articles basically said, hey, safety issues. You got a lot of nut jobs running around. You got a lot of people on drugs running around. It's not safe. People are coming into the store, stealing stuff, walking outside, doing that typical retail theft thing that we've got going on. The organized retail theft is it's a runaway epidemic. And like the CEO of Walmart said, hey, you got two options here. You keep stealing our stuff. We're going to shut the store down. We're going to increase your prices. You pick. So far, Walmart's been shutting down a lot of stores. I've had some good podcasts come out of Walmart shutting down stores. Thank you, Walmart. Much appreciated. Everybody do as much shopping as you can at Walmart because they're paying my bills right now because all the views I'm getting on them shutting stores down. It's helping me out. So much appreciated, Walmart. That's my corporate shout out to you. So we got Starbucks, Wawa, Marshalls, and H&M, which have similarly opted to shutter some of their city center storefronts. Those are big stores to be closing down. See, I mean, you've got the obvious of what's going on. You've got shenanigans. That's what you got. That's my way of saying, hey, yeah, we're not calling it what it is here, but I'll call it what it is. You got people robbing the store. Yeah. You got weird stuff going on in the parking lot. It's in a weird location. And by weird, I mean possibly dangerous. This is the fifth major corporation that shut down. And so small independents are the only ones now that are willing to take that risk. Oftentimes you will read about a city official when these stores close down and the city official is like, hey, big corporate just closed down, but we've got somebody coming in, a much, much smaller company, which all that does to me is just scream out. They're undercapitalized. They're willing to take a risk of moving into the store, whereas big corporate is doing the opposite. They are moving out. They're eliminating their risk factor. But if you can figure out a way in a neighborhood that's, maybe, it's on the ropes, got a little rope-a-dope action, but it's not going to come out of it like Muhammad Ali would after that rope-a-dope. Because after that rope-a-dope, the other guy was tired because he'd been bobbing and weaving and bobbing and weaving and just been kind of relaxing on the ropes, right? Oh, he was a master at that. He was a master at that. I remember many times as a young kid, my dad was always playing basketball. He played a lot of basketball. My dad played a lot of basketball, like gym rat basketball, pickup games. So we'd be going to some pickup game my dad wanted to play with his friends when I was little. So my dad would have been, maybe 30, something like that. And I remember several pickup basketball games where I'd be on the sideline and I would be manning the radio because we'd be listening to a Muhammad Ali, fight. Because, I didn't always have them on. I think, did you have them on TV? Did you have them on like Wide World of Sports? I can't remember what the deal was back then. I know some of them were broadcast, but some of them, I think the one, Thriller in Manila wasn't live or something like that. And I remember it wasn't that one, but it was something after that where, it was like a Saturday afternoon fight and I'm at a ball game with my dad. My dad's playing and I'd be manning it. So I remember listening to those broadcasts very vividly. And this was before the Mike Tyson era. And, good times. But getting back to not so good times here, right? Got these stores closing down. Still, industry observers have cautioned against an overly pessimistic view of the state of retail in Center City, pointing to rising foot traffic and retail occupancy since 2020. All righty then. So what's that all about? Hey, things are getting better. Things are looking up. Well, from 2020, that was when everything was absolutely devastated, right? It was hands down, boom, done. Closed down stores, closed down all these stores. Nobody was going out. We were all, except for you, few souls who lived in the world of freedom. We couldn't go to, we could go to big grocery stores, but all these other stores just closed down. They just closed down. So there really wasn't a lot to go to, right? And so you had zero foot traffic anywhere. Just people weren't going anywhere. It was, 15 days to flatten the curve. And then it just went on for 2 years, whatever that was. What a crazy time that was. I look back at footage I see where, I'm wearing a mask. I'm like, good Lord. I'm like wearing a mask in the gym, doing cardio. Talk about a bad idea. So what you've got is rising foot traffic and retail occupancy since 2020. Well, yeah, but there was none back then. So anything's going to be an uptick on that, right? I mean, it just is. So you're comparing statistics. If you want to compare the foot traffic against what it was in 2019 before we went into the pandemic. And I bet you even then the center city was having a tough time because 4 other major corporations said, there's some safety issues here. There's some safety concerns here. They were the ones that kind of came right out and said it. And then I had to research independently, which isn't too hard. You just do, hey, Starbucks in Philadelphia, Center City, it closed. What was the deal? There's a lot of criminal activities going on. And that's what's closing these big stores. But nobody really wants to say that because then you'd have to admit, hey, there's something going on in Center City. What's happening? And then you'd have, possibly address it. What are you going to do to make Center City safer? Oh, nothing. We got a rise in foot traffic. It's all getting better. All the big boys left, all of our anchor tenants left, but we're going to make a go on it on independent retailers. We're going to make this happen. Now, absolutely 0% of all the other malls in the United States have been able to do this, make a go of it with independent shops without an anchor tenant. But, this Center City is going to be that one miraculous shopping center where it's all going to happen. It's all going to happen. It's all going to be good things. Now, this is a case where you've had probably crazy amounts of shoplifting. I can't imagine not. You've had, crazy stuff go on in the parking lot. You got people, organized retail theft targeting this store. What else do you need to say? The normal craziness that goes on in a big retail store in a Democrat-run city where they've hands off, criminal activity, shoplifting, drugs. It's all good, guys. It's all good until your big box stores start to shut down. And that's what we've been covering lately. I don't know how many I've done, but you want to talk about an epidemic of, retail Armageddon happening? It's a happening. But you know where it's not happening? Florida, Texas, Idaho. Huh. Weird, right? Isn't that crazy? Yeah. I don't know. Something in the water in these other towns? Not really sure. All right. That's it for me on this one. Yeah. Philadelphia closing some stores down. That's what you get when you get out of control. Governor from Texas was right. This is what happens. Things get out of control. And he was talking about Portland, and the mayor of Portland said, there's other closures, and you had closures in your state too. Yeah, but not like this. Not where everybody just takes off. You've got some normal business closures. The stuff we're focusing on here, the stuff we're talking about, is because of policy that has allowed this stuff to happen, whether it's not prosecuting criminals, whatever it is throughout the entire system, decriminalizing drugs, decriminalizing shoplifting, allowing nut jobs to just run around, all of this stuff. It all goes into part and parcel. And then corporate management looks at it and goes, numbers are down. How's safety there? Not good. All right. Boom. Done. That's the one. We're going to close it down. There you go. There's Center City in Philadelphia. City of brotherly love. Just lost a store. Ugh, that's not good. All right. That's it for me. Thanks so much for being here. I'll catch up with you next time. Bye for now.